right, welcome to the BlessedBeatzLive podcast. I'm your host. My name is Marcus. I am on Instagram at MarcusSullivanLive. Let the series continue. It's called Interviewing Mentors. If you ever had a chance to actually sit down and talk to your mentors, you learn a lot from them through experience, but then just to hear their story and then talk about how your story is kind of parallel is really good. One of my mentors, guy, was at my wedding. He was there for my first radio days. I call him Big Fish, the GOAT, MarcusFisher. What's up, brother?
What are you talking about? The fact that you have me in this studio.
Yeah.
And the name of this is interviewing your mentor.
Yeah, interviewing mentors.
What is that? Stop.
All right. So before I even get into who you are and let you introduce yourself, is there a lot of me's in your world, the people that say that you're their mentor?
I get it more often than not, and it's always a pleasant surprise because I don't see what you see. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just a guy that's trying to figure it out. A guy that's messed up an awful lot, learning from his mistakes, and just navigating this life, man. But
wow.
So that's why I'm amazed that I'm like, why am I here?
Yeah, it's funny because when I sent you the text, I was like, bro, I want to interview mentors. You was like, what time I'm pulling up? So it's actually cool that you can say you don't see yourself as being somebody mentor. You just they kind of put the title on you.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I guess. Like I said, I'm just a guy who's figuring it out, and if I can help somebody from my mistakes, if that's what a mentor is.
Who was your mentor?
I got a few. Right off the top, Larry Jones.
Ooh, yeah.
Big bro.
Yeah.
He is the ultimate communicator.
Yep.
Like JC says, put him anywhere on God's green earth, he'll triple his worth.
Yeah.
And it's a funny story about that. I mean, I can share it, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was his competitor when I moved to Houston.
I remember those days.
Afternoons.
Yes.
And he did afternoon.
Yes.
You know, in radio, you're not supposed to like your competitor.
Did you know him before you moved to Houston?
No.
Okay.
Never met him.
Okay.
Didn't know of him. I knew he had a great voice. And I knew, like I said, you're not supposed to like your competitor.
Yeah.
But at every given chance, I recorded his shows. I found ways to listen because he was good.
Yeah.
I was like, how am I going to beat this guy?
Yeah.
And I just started. I actually came to Houston as a production director.
Wait, and then let's go back.
Oh, boy.
Let's go back.
I got a lot.
Introduce yourself then. Right. There you go. Let's go there.
So, I'm MarcusFisher. I'm a voice guy. I am a husband of one, father of 5.
I just got there. Yes.
And 4 boys.
Okay.
1 girl.
Okay.
I always joke with the boys and say, you're lucky you got here first because all I wanted was a girl.
Wow.
God made me do it like 4 of the times to make sure I was serious.
Had Leah got here first.
Boy. Sorry, fellas.
Yes.
But radio guy.
Yeah.
30-plus years in radio. I transitioned into voiceovers in 2009. Had no idea that I wanted to do that. I wanted to be a game show host.
Really? Take me back. You said 30 how many years?
Plus, I started in 1988.
Take me back, 1987.
1987.
Yes.
Summer. I was going to go into the military.
Okay.
And I went. I did the test. I did the ASVAB test.
What was the heart behind military?
I wasn't that smart in school.
Funny story. I say this on the radio. I say this on the radio all the time. I'm like, listen, this look cool, but I got here because I wasn't that smart. All right, so 80.
I was, boy, yeah. So I was that guy who I went to school. I did the work, sort of. I got through.
Okay.
But I didn't excel.
Okay.
As they say, you're not living, you're just existing. I existed in school.
Right. You was just trying to pass classes.
If I could.
If you could.
If I could.
Where you from?
Jacksonville, Florida. Duval.
All right. Young kid from Duval just making his way. Military shows up, and
I go, and honestly, I wasn't even supposed to. I don't think I was supposed to graduate on time. I was like a credit short or something.
Wow.
It was weird.
Okay.
So I told them that. They were like, "Oh no, you got the delayed entry program. You can sign up now and then go in later."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
Well, the guy called.
Okay.
I probably shouldn't even be telling this.
What branch was this?
Hey, man.
They can't come get you now.
Hey.
Okay.
Tough times around here. But Army.
Okay. Be all you can be.
That was something.
Okay.
But the sergeant called looking for me. He was like, "Hey, good news. You can graduate on time.
Oh.
Instead of leaving in September, you can leave in 2 weeks."
For real.
I was like, "No, man. I don't want to do that." He was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It's like, "I don't want to do it."
Yeah.
It's like, "Okay. All right, well, I'm going to lose your paperwork, and that'll be that." Hey, man.
He wasn't pushy at all.
Nah. He
God had his hands on that.
He was upset because I actually did him a favor.
Okay.
I signed up for something that I didn't want to do. I went into a field that they didn't have.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Man, I need, you know."
Where was your parents at this time and saying, "Yo, this ain't what you want"?
Listen, man, I'm the youngest of 11. So let's say
I didn't know that.
Mom had 4, Dad had 4. They got together, made 3 more.
Yeah.
So I grew up mainly with two to 3 other siblings.
I did not know that.
By the time I got here, my older siblings were like teenagers.
Okay.
So,
right. Y'all, but were y'all close, or because they way too?
No, we were super close. They called us the Black Waltons of our neighborhood. And Google Waltons,
yes,
and you figure it out.
Okay.
But we ate dinner at the same time every night.
Yeah.
You know, Mom was a homemaker.
Okay.
She didn't work. Dad worked.
Okay.
He worked at a veterinarian place. So he was gone from daylight to dusk.
So no real relationship really growing up with him?
No. My father?
Yeah.
Oh, my dad's 91. He's a G.
Okay. He's a G. I see you talk about him on Facebook, but go ahead.
No. We were literally the Black Waltons.
Okay.
Everything we did as a family. Went to church.
Yeah.
We were, good night, Rod.
Yeah.
Good night, Karen.
Yeah.
Good night, Greg. Good night, Bunny. Good night, Larry. You know.
You gonna have people watching the Waltons now, but go for it.
I'm bringing them back.
Yeah. All right.
But so they were, whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to college. I actually ended up going, by the way. But
you had a thing? That wasn't it either.
Yeah.
Well, you just said you wasn't good at school.
12th grade.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So college wasn't it. Yeah.
I'm in 11th and a half grade as it is. So I ended up not going there.
Okay.
So now I'm like, okay, now what are you going to do? I was a huge fan of Donnie Simpson. Donnie Simpson, BET.
Video
Soul.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Video Soul. It wasn't Video Vibrations. Video Soul.
Video Soul.
Yeah.
Huge fan of Donnie. Watched it every day.
Yeah.
I also thought I was going to be a New Edition, so I watched for the videos. Why are you laughing?
Which one were you, bro?
I was more like Ronnie because I was tall. But when Bobby left, I was just trying to get in. And I literally practiced every day.
Okay, so only reason I'm laughing because I was people said I used to look like Bobby Brown, but whatever. But go for it.
I practiced.
Yeah.
Like I'm really gonna make it. Like
yes.
I can do the steps right now. Matter of fact, I interviewed them all. I had the pleasure of interviewing everybody except Bobby when they came in 2004.
Fisher, I was with you that day. I was with you that day. Yes, I was. Keep going. Go for it.
Had the opportunity to do it, and I told Johnny, look, I didn't like you. I didn't like you because you took my spot. The chance that I would have had.
Yeah.
I can't sing.
Yeah.
And I did all this work for these dance moves.
And you was dead serious.
And you ruined it for me.
Yeah.
So, but it was great to share that story with them and actually do a couple of moves. And I got the fist pound from Ronnie.
Was that on video?
No.
This is back, boy, if that had been today.
Cassette.
Yes. Okay.
So I did Not My Kind of Girl, because that was the one.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anywho.
Okay.
Where was I? Back with, okay, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do.
Right.
Donnie Simpson.
Yes.
So Donnie is the king of all media for me.
He's the GOAT.
But I knew, and I wanted his spot, but I knew that he did radio
Okay.
at some point. Donnie's Detroit. Donnie is
right.
just retired.
That's right.
A couple of months ago.
The BET gig was a second. He was a radio guy before.
Radio guy.
Yes. Okay.
So shout out to Donnie Simpson, greatest guy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay. I called my dad in the room. Dad, I know what I want to do.
Mm.
He said, how much does it cost? It's like, I don't know, but I want to do radio. And I was just going to do radio so I can transition into TV.
The voice wasn't there then. This is just like what you...
It was. My voice deepened at 14.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Funny story about that.
Yeah.
My first job was Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC now.
Yes.
I was fortunate I was a cook, but I would sneak into the drive-thru area from time to time and take orders. And I remember this one particular time.
Yeah.
I go in. Welcome to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Can I take your order? And I hear, this need to be on the radio. It was 1986.
Yes.
Fast forward.
Yeah.
That pops into my mind. I know what I'm going to do. Donnie Simpson does this. I'm going to do what he did.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm going to school.
Yeah.
He says, you better graduate.
Yeah. You barely graduated. Yeah.
Fast forward.
Okay.
Get there. I'm at Jones College. College doesn't exist now.
Okay.
So my kids joke when I say
Jones College. This is where's Jones?
Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay. It's gone today.
It was a business college.
Okay.
That I took broadcasting classes for.
Okay.
It was a 2-year college. A year into it, I get a job at the #1 radio station in the market. That's been the story of my career.
What was the job did you get?
Board op. Morning show producer. Phone, they called it Phone Ape because it was WAPE, the big ape. So, answering phones.
Okay.
Taking requests.
Mark Fisher, inside the BlessedBeatzLive podcast. I had another mentor, you know him, Anthony Valerie. And like right now, I'm not going to get teary-eyed because when I heard his story, and I know my story, the trail for me was blazed through his story. And hearing you say that, let me get the camera off of me. It messes with me, bro, because you blazed the trail for my story.
Wow.
Okay, continue. So you get this board op job.
Yes, so this is how I get it. I'm going to the mall. It's a Thursday. This is August of 1988.
Okay.
Why do I remember these dates? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday. I'm at the mall with my friends.
Okay.
I'm a year into college.
Okay.
Or school, whatever you want to call it, because it really wasn't a college.
Okay.
It was weird.
Yes.
But I was there.
Okay.
2 of my friends who are still in the radio business today are still
working.
They're still doing it.
Okay.
So I get there, and my friend Terry says, hey, man, he was the morning show producer at the time.
Okay.
They promoted him
to
overnights. They needed somebody to fill his spot. Hey, what are you doing? Wow. Nothing. Want a job? Yeah. Show up Monday. Okay.
Fisher. Okay. Monday morning. You remember that Monday morning?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me.
I get there, show up, be there at 5 o'clock. Show starts at 5:30.
Yeah.
You're going to meet this guy named Hoyle Dempsey. He's the morning show guy. He's going to ask you, can you make coffee? Just tell him yes, because I didn't know how to make it. Coffee maker? What? 5 o'clock, I get there. I get in.
Yeah.
Hoyle gets there about 5:15.
Yeah.
I meet him. Hey, Hoyle, this is your new guy. This is Mark.
What format was this?
This is CHR, Contemporary Hit Radio.
Okay. Okay.
So, hey, this is Mark. He's your new guy. Hey, buddy. Can you make coffee? Yes, sir, I can. Let's see. I go make coffee. The rest is history.
No.
Mark the Shark was born.
No.
Yeah. Stayed there for 5 years.
That must have been one cup of coffee, bro.
Stayed there for 5 years. Yeah, I don't know if his expectations was low. I don't know.
All right. So 5 years goes by. You're board opping, running the boards.
Only for maybe 6 months. I parlayed that into an air shift, parlayed that to an overnight shift, parlayed that into an overnight shift / morning show producer.
Stop.
And late nights.
Take me to the first time you cracked the mic on the air. Remember that day?
It was probably Van Halen. No, it wasn't. It was Bryan Adams. And in one of his love songs, Everything I Do For You, something like that.
Yeah.
But.
And you were, what day part was this?
Overnight. Super, super overnight.
Super nervous? Super nervous?
Super nervous, but not really nervous.
Okay.
When you're doing overnights, there's nobody there but you. Nobody in the entire
He's not lying.
building.
Yes.
But you.
Right.
No janitors, no nothing.
Right.
So
it's quiet, it's slow, you can take your time.
I practiced the line of what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Now I gotta say this, because I remember when times you were training me, radio back then was not as digital and technical as it is today. Y'all were on something you introduced. You called this thing to me, and I actually just saw one over the Christmas holidays, and I might go buy it. It's at a store. It's at a store in Houston. I know. I might just buy it just to put in here.
Okay.
Yes. But this thing is called Reel to Reel.
So when you're recording, you don't, like, you've got really nice equipment here.
Okay.
You had a 2-track recorder.
Okay.
And you pressed it, but if you messed up,
yeah,
in order to edit,
yes,
you had a grease pencil, razor blade, and a little spool of tape. And you had to take the razor blade, put it into this little slot, slice the blade, slice it here, slice it there, mark it, pull it out, throw it on the floor, put the other 2 pieces together, and hope you had the right marks.
This is why they say cut and edit.
Cut and
today.
Splicing.
You mastered that.
I did. Wow, you're bringing out all these memories, man. So, when I was in college, doing production,
yes,
and this is where I knew that I was good at that part, at that aspect of radio. One of our tests was to read a sentence, read it out of context, and then edit it to make it sound like a full sentence.
Right.
Most people just read the words, and they were just horrible. My thought process was read the word like it's supposed to be said in the sentence, so that when it's put together, it'll sound right.
Okay. Yes.
So I did that.
Yeah.
I said each word like it would be in the sentence.
Right.
I put it together. There you got a sentence. They thought I cheated.
Because
they made me do it again.
Wow, bro.
And that's the pivotal moment when I knew I'm pretty good at creating. I can do this part. Because
fast forward, and I want to get to Power 97.5, but I knew you as an afternoon jock and production guy. Who knew those classes back then would turn into a full-time career?
Had no idea. By no stretch of the imagination should I have parlayed it into that career. And every job I've gotten from Power 95, WAPE in Jacksonville, Florida, has been literally, hey, something else is opening up. Are you interested?
Order my steps, bro.
Hey, there's a station in Augusta, just started. Are you interested?
This is your trail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I'll go to Augusta. That's 3.5 hours, 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Augusta, Georgia.
The first time you left home, what did your parents think? What did you think? Did you know that this is going to turn into one job after the next until it spells career, until I resigned to go do my, did you go, I'm in the wind?
I knew that I was good enough to put in the work, and I knew that if I put in the work, something else would come.
Were you a student of radio at this point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I loved producing more than I loved being on the air.
Very nice. And it was you that told me the more that I can do, I can't remember how you told me that, the longer I can last, right? And so for people watching this that want to be on the camera, on the mic, that is cool. But if you can switch these cameras and edit and do the behind the scenes, you got a career.
So watch this. I am probably one of few people in the business of radio that has never been fired.
Me neither. thanks to you.
One or two.
Right? Never been fired.
Because I always did production. I was always production director / afternoon personality.
Yes.
So I'd come in the morning. I'd handle production duties.
Yeah.
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, wherever the time slot rolls around. I do that. If there's anything left over, I'll knock it out.
Right.
And I'm going to play basketball. I'm out of here.
So at this point, Mark the Shark Fisher is born. You went from station to station. These are all small markets.
Small markets.
Houston calls.
Well,
big market.
So technically I called Houston, but shout out to Ken Johnson, director of programming at the time for Cumulus Media. I was in Mobile, Alabama. Had been there for about 6 years.
Okay.
It had worn out its welcome. I knew that I.
Were you the guy? Were you the guy in Mobile?
No, Ray was the guy.
Okay.
He passed away some years ago.
Okay.
But Ray, comedian / morning guy.
Okay.
My guy.
Yeah.
Loved him, but he was the morning guy.
Okay. You were what, afternoons at this point?
I was afternoons.
Okay.
And
okay.
Ray was the local guy, so everybody knew him. And we could never win in the Thanksgiving giveaway baskets and the contest that the jocks would have against each other, who could get the most donations. Ray.
Okay.
Without question.
Houston.
So, I'm ready to go. I go to Los Angeles for a boxing match.
Okay.
I have my palm red.
You laugh
hey,
at
man,
that.
I'm at Venice Beach. The lady was like, it's $5.
Wait, go ahead.
She reads my palm and she tells me in a week or so, someone you love dearly is going to really need you. And before the year is out, you'll be faced with a business decision. Think about it. Literally, I got home. My son's mother called. I need you to come get me. This relationship is not working out. She's in D.C. at the time.
Okay.
I'm in Mobile.
Okay.
This relationship's not working out. If you come get me, drop me off at my mom's house in Atlanta, just come get me. Okay. Come get us, because my son is maybe 2 at the time.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
Wow.
That's one. December 17th, 2001. I'm talking to the director of programming, and he's like, hey, man, what's going on with you in Mobile? And we played golf together, and we talked.
Yeah.
So my response was, man, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
I want to get out of here.
I want out of here, yeah.
Well, there's a new station opening up. Power 97.5 in Houston. They're looking for a production director, not an on-air person, just a production director. But if you can do weekends, that'll be cool. I said, who do I need to call? He said, I didn't even tell you how much they pay. I don't care.
Wow.
Who do I need to talk to?
Yeah.
He put me in touch with the program director.
Maurice DeVoe. Yeah.
Long story short, I talked to him on December 17th. I make my decision on December 19th. By January 2002, I'm on the road to Houston.
Yeah. I remember these days, bro. I remember these days.
Yeah.
All right. So touchdown to Houston, fourth largest city.
Oh, wait.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. I told my girlfriend, my wife now,
Okay.
after I got back from Los Angeles,
That you had your palm read.
that I had my palm read.
Yes.
I said, but, baby, if nothing happens for me by the end of the year, we're moving to Los Angeles.
Why L.A.?
It was a big market, and I just left there, and I had the time of my life.
Yes.
But I said, if nothing happens by the end of the year, I'm good enough. And once again, that's that belief. I'm good enough. I'll work my way up to where I want to be.
Yeah.
So
I got to say this. Interviewing mentors, bruh. This L.A. part, I had the same vision. I said if this didn't work, actually I had San Diego in my dreams. I was going to apply at San Diego State.
Wow.
This is post-football, everything. All right, continue.
yeah, so literally, December 17th was when it all happened, and literally, but January, we were on the road packing my 1992 Diamante.
Yeah.
Rolling.
So you get to Houston, big market, a lot faster, right?
Much faster.
Crack the air. No, you were production at first.
I was production at first, and that was fine.
Who was the afternoon guy? It wasn't
Princess Ivory.
And then she moved to middays. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I get there, and I'm doing production, and then Sundays at noon or whatever.
Yeah.
I do that. Now we've got a parade or some sort because Super Bowl had just happened.
Yep.
And they need me to fill in because they're doing a parade in Houston. We were actually in Beaumont at the time because the station hadn't even been built.
Yeah, I remember this.
So I got to do middays. I crack the mic. I'm gone because I know what I can do.
Yeah.
You're talking to the game show host, you know. So I hear.
I got to pause you. Is that why Sharky Oki?
Absolutely.
That's
100%.
the game show guy.
100%.
All right, continue, sir. Continue,
Sharky
sir.
Oki, don't say a game.
Yes.
That was me.
Okay.
Living my dream. So I crack the mic and I go, but I hear them saying, "Oh, this guy's pretty good." And in my mind, I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
So was it a warm welcome here at first, or
It was
no?
great.
Yeah,
It was great. I ran into Cut Creator, the world famous Cut Creator,
Yeah.
at the hotel. Didn't really know it was him.
Yeah.
I came in looking for a restaurant, Shoney's, because Shoney's was big in Mobile.
Yeah.
Why you keep laughing every time?
Because you're a country boy, and I'm learning this about you, bro. Yes.
I am. I was like, hey, you guys got a Shoney's around here? and we didn't speak at the time, but I saw him at the radio station when I started.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I saw you in the lobby.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah.
So, but no, he's been great. He was great. Everybody else was great.
Yeah.
Ivory was eating lunch. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey, what did they call you? Shark? Okay, hey, Shark.
So this is the birth of my radio career. And, man, the names that you're naming are all radio veterans. When Power 97.5 jumped off here in Houston, you just heard Cut Creator. Yes, that Cut Creator, right? You had Princess Ivory, who was from New York. Was it Little G? He was like the night guy.
Little G was the night guy.
Lots of energy, right?
Power 97.5 was probably the greatest station to not be heard because the signal was so bad.
Yeah.
But the format and the product was amazing.
The talent that came out of there. All right, fast forward. Well, let me say this. At what point had you felt like you hear your future mentor as your competitor, the OG, the other legend?
My guy.
Yeah. And you're listening to him. He's the competition. How are you performing in the market at this point?
I'm still doing weekends and production. So for me, I'm living my dream. I'm all right. I'm in Houston, Texas. It's a whole lot more to do
yes.
than it is in Alabama.
Right. And then this is the time the Super Bowl comes around. I'm driving the truck in promotion, so I'm literally roadieing for y'all, right?
Yes.
And man, we're hitting every event, every club, we were all over the place.
It was a great time to be in your 30s.
You
weren't in your 30s yet,
right?
It was boy, yeah.
Was money in radio good those days? Because it ain't bad today. But
I never made $1 million.
Okay, but those days back then was okay. From the chair that I was in at that point, I was driving a van. Right. I looked at y'all like celebrity. In that era, were y'all still adored by listeners like the local celebrities?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was a great time. The perks were amazing. You know, I didn't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But
the perks
made me feel like, because I didn't spend for anything.
Yeah.
So, and ticket prices, it was probably 5 years before I realized how much stuff concert ticket cost or a game, or I didn't know that stuff.
Yeah, bro, we went to Prince concert. We went. To this day, this is why I always tell people, yo, I carried your speakers. I set up your events, and I guess that's why I looked at y'all like stars, bro. Y'all were hanging around with every celebrity that was in town, all of the artists. In 97, and Power 97.5, I got to say this. It had its cachet in the market, but we were up against a legendary station.
We were the new guys, and what I learned about Houston and Houston radio is if they don't know you, they don't mess with you.
Yeah.
So that's why we were constantly in the clubs, learning and meeting people. One of the great, and I was just that different guy. I'm just a nice guy.
Yeah.
By nature.
Yeah.
So even though you're supposedly not supposed to like the competition or fraternize with the competition, I was friendly with everybody.
I'm gonna insert us on the level that was under y'all. Some people wasn't so nice to us, right? But I tip my hat to you, bro. Like, we would set up for your events and stuff, bro. When your events would be over, you'd stick around and break down with us, right? Now, I know, and this to this day, I even tell people who do it for me.
Yeah.
And I stick around and carry the table and stuff with them. I've been there to watch the jock or the DJ wait in the car until we done, or leave 10 minutes before, right? Now, if you got somewhere to go, you got somewhere to go. But
I've seen that.
You just being a nice guy, or you understood where we were at the time?
A little of both. Okay. Because I was there. I was there too when I started.
Yeah.
When I started in radio, we did the phones and did all of that. But I was, our mascot was an ape. So I wore the ape costume on more than one occasion. Yeah. So I knew about helping and doing it for the greater good of the product. Yeah. You know, it was hot. Yeah. You know how Houston is.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So the sooner we can get out of there, well, let's go. And if I can help you get out,
we all out of there.
There was never an ego with me.
I always loved working with you and respected you so much. Fast forward December 2004. We get called to a meeting. Well, I got to say this. You were production, so you had to see it coming.
I didn't. I did not. But thank God I was in production, and that's a wonderful thing about doing that. Yeah. Because I've been through 4 transitions.
Yeah. I got to say this because they don't know what we're talking about. As a production guy myself, when you work in production, commercial production, you see the commercial loads go, right? Yeah. And so that's why I said you had to see it coming. But hindsight is 20/20. Today, if you were talking about it, could you see it coming?
I think so.
And what was the it? What was coming? Talk about that day.
Well, you look at the log and you see where there used to be, maybe 8 60-second commercials. Yeah. and which was pushing it at that time.
Yeah.
To 4.
Commercials is how we make money.
Commercials is how we make money.
Yeah.
And my job was to orchestrate and be the liaison between sales executives and the programming department.
Mm-hmm.
So we get the commercials in, we load them, and I started not loading so many commercials, but I didn't pay attention. I really didn't pay attention to it. I thought everything was great. We had just gotten a morning show they were in for a year.
Which was your mentor.
Funky Larry Jones.
Yes.
Funky Larry Jones morning show.
Yeah.
So let me backtrack about me meeting him.
Yes.
Because I'm not supposed to like him.
Right.
That's my competitor.
Right.
I'm at a club hosting a night.
And he's there.
And he walks in.
Yeah.
And all of his grandeur and his fashion and his
status.
His jacket.
Yes.
His name on the back.
Boots and the hat. Yes, that guy.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, he's going to get it now.
Oh, it's a game on.
As Stephen A. Smith said, the unmitigated gall.
Yes.
To walk into my night and be him. So he's walking. And I'm kind of walking. And I'm saying to myself, oh, now you let him have it. Let him get it.
Yes.
And I get there, and now we're here.
Yeah.
And you know
he knows you as the competition.
He could have, or he may not have. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I knew who he was.
Yes.
We're here. You know what I say? Man, it's so nice to meet you, man. You are everything I want to be in a communicator. I love your show, dude. You are amazing.
Say it with your chest.
You know what he says?
Go for it.
Man, I appreciate it. Hey, what are you guys doing with your morning show?
Wow.
I'm like, huh? Man, I'm sitting on a morning show. What are you guys doing with? Because it was weird. We had gone through transitions, and we
had Doug Banks.
We had Doug Banks in the morning. I love you, Doug.
Yeah.
But that was, so it was, we competed with Magic at that time, and then the rest of the time it was kind of like the box. So we were a hybrid.
Yes, that's true.
And he said, so what are you guys going to do with that slot? I said, would you really consider coming over? He said, yeah. I said, really? He said, yeah. We had a drink. I went back the next Monday to my program director. Hey, guess what? You know that Funky Larry Jones is looking to come somewhere. Wow. That was in October. By December, we're getting ready for the announcement of the new Funky Larry Jones morning show.
This is 03.
This is 03.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was like the best Christmas present ever because this brought the attention. It brought validity.
Yep.
You know, it's him.
Yeah.
It's them. It's Chili Bill Smith. It's Val Wilson.
Yep. It's all of
you know, Guy Lambert.
Guy Lambert, yeah.
So it means something.
This is the moment for me as a promotions guy back then to where as a sponge, bro, I had some of the best talent around, right? And I'm talking about interviewing mentors, and I'd love to have him here because I drove the van for him. Yeah. I drove a van for you. I learned under AV, and this was at a time, 03, where Houston was just fish grease hot. We just had the Super Bowl. I think the All-Star was coming. Yeah. Everything was going on around the city. And so the morning show gets here. We get some cachet in the market for the next year, and we're rolling as a station. Yeah. You don't see what's about to come. Fast forward to that day.
Call a meeting. All the big wigs in town. Hated when the big wigs came because.
Did you know the big wigs was coming?
No.
Okay.
No, I think we found out the day before.
Okay.
But we get a call.
That morning, I'm driving the van in the streets, but go ahead.
And John Dickey, he was vice president of operations or something like that. He goes, well, we fought the good fight. anytime you start out with "we fought the good fight," it's all downhill.
It's downhill from there. Yes,
dude, this is we were really, really good. Just nobody could hear us. We had the best looking studio.
Yeah,
our studio was in the Galleria.
Yes,
it was across from was it Saks?
Yeah, we were connected to the Galleria. Yeah, we're connected to the Galleria. Yeah.
So that drive was great.
Yeah.
The station was a show palace. It was all of the futuristic. What you see now.
Yeah.
We had that
then. True.
In 2002, 2003.
Yeah. They spent a lot of money on it.
A lot of money. The best station to never be heard. So it's like me putting on a tuxedo and riding a bike.
So corporate is here, stone face. All right, I'm standing against the wall. We don't even get the seats in the promotion. We're standing glad. The room. Let me paint the picture.
Like that.
The room was a glass room. The meeting room, unless there were two meetings, right?
No, it was just
you walk into the studio. You walk into the station.
Yep.
There's the front desk, and there's a glass room.
Yep.
And the 4 or 5 of us promotion people, we're standing against the wall. I'm so new. They make the announcement. I still don't know what's going on, but we fought the good fight, and
we're going to change formats. We're going to do something that'll make us money. So they changed from an urban format to the rock format.
That's right.
Now, here's the funny part.
Okay.
Well, it ain't funny, but because I did production and I was production director / afternoon host, guess what? They don't fire me.
I did not know that. You stayed on?
I had to. Commercials still run. Who are they going to get to do the commercials?
Bro, we went to the back room and cleaned out offices. And I remember, I'm not going to tell Val Wilson's story, but I remember the security guy downstairs using the badge to let us out because the badges was no more good. I didn't know you stayed on.
That's the story of my career. And that's why being a production director was always important because I was always the guy they kept. I was the median. That was me because I had to train the new guys. I had to train the new guys on how to use the equipment. I had to show them around.
How long did you stay on after that? I just remember the Christmas. It was the Christmas party / going away party when everybody was just hanging out, and this was it for Power.
Yeah.
December 24th or something like that. It was Christmas Eve.
I hung around. It was well into January because they offered me. And sometimes if you're lucky enough, you'll make relationships and they look out for you. Say, hey, well, look.
Right.
We've seen what you do. Now, if you want to be a program director, we'll send you to one of our smaller markets.
This is how much I adored you, bro. I'm going to tell you what market that was, unless it was a few. Was it North Carolina? I don't. It's fuzzy in my head, but I remember being in the car with you. I don't know if you went to visit or you had just got back, but we were in my green Infiniti, and you was telling me about Carolina, and I said to myself, "I'm going to Carolina once you're there." That's why I know that.
That's funny. So, I'm a big believer in. I believe in omens. I believe in signs.
Yes.
So when I knew that this wasn't for me. I missed my flight. I've never missed a flight in my life.
So you never even went to Carolina?
So no. I missed my connecting flight. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So I had to actually fly into Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and then drive to, I can't even remember the city. But here's the thing. Their selling point to me was we filmed Dawson's Creek here. Dawson, remember the show?
Yeah, I remember the show. But that's what they sold to you?
That's all they had. It was, So, and the pay wasn't really.
But it was a program. It was a step up in position.
It was a step up in position.
So, you're not from Houston at this point, bro. Houston ain't your home. You a Florida boy. Technically, that's closer to home. And you turn it down.
I was going to go. I came back and said, well, this is what I'm offering. And I'm always a positive guy. I'm always a lemonade out of lemons kind of guy. Mm-hmm. So this is the card I'm dealt. Babe, this is what we're doing. Mm-hmm. I called my director of programming, Ken Johnson, said, okay, tell him I'm coming. Mm. The next day, I get a call from Maxine Todd. Mm. Smooth Jazz, 95.7 The Wave, needs a production director. No on-air work, just production director. Mm. I go, I nail it. She offers.
This is in Houston.
In Houston. I get to stay in Houston.
Yeah. I got to ask you, was time so good for you to, because remember, you've told girlfriend, now wifey, this don't work. We going west. Carolina does not pan out. What happened to the west job? Was Houston now home for you?
Yeah, it was. It was. I had fallen in love. I had learned the way of about being a Houstonian. Mm-hmm. And I mean, yeah, it's from 2002. It's now 2005.
Right.
You know, I'm pretty good now.
Yeah.
And at this time, it's probably the longest place I've lived besides Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So yeah. I did 6 years in Mobile, so I was close to that range.
Right.
But I wanted to stay in Houston. I didn't want to go back to a smaller market. Mm-hmm. Houston was it for me.
It's true.
And she offered, and the money was the exact same amount that I was making.
Look at God, bro. Look at God.
Like, hey, guess what? Ken, did you tell him I'm leaving?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I just told him. Tell him I'm not leaving. Are you serious? I'm not leaving.
Did he respect it?
He did.
Okay.
He did. And Ken and I still do work together to this day.
Wow, bro. I gotta reset here. Interviewing mentors, MarcusFisher here. At this point, I've learned from you. And I'm gonna go back in your story, bro. Mm. There was a time where you were Mark the Shark, afternoon giant to me, and you were still the production guy. And I remember the times you would tell me, hey, dude, come back here and voice some stuff. All right, so I'm not just...
The fact that you did it, though.
Bro, I ain't this great voice that I am today, you know what I'm saying? No, but the intimidation factor of watching you work and show me the paper, I remember, what are the... I can't even remember what it's called, but the scripts you would give and you would let us go back there and voice, and you would show us stuff and tell us stuff, show us about levels, and you're too high, and so much stuff. That production job gives you the production job at Smooth Jazz. Mm-hmm. Your zeal for being on the air, which weighed the most to you? At this point in your career?
I never really cared. I mean, I wanted to be a game show host.
Yeah.
But
you afternoons. And for my radio people, mornings and afternoons are the GOAT positions. Those are the station backbones. You were afternoons in Houston. That didn't weigh more than being production.
I had no ego.
Great.
And when you're in that position, you can have an ego.
Yeah.
There are a lot of factors that will allow you to have an ego. I just didn't, because I just didn't.
Yeah. So you get to Smooth Jazz. This is literally across the street, around the corner on the freeway.
It was a breeze.
And was this all music? Did they have a lineup or no?
They did. Here's even funnier story.
Okay.
Funky Larry Jones and I both started. I started at Smooth Jazz 2 weeks before he did. So I got my offer.
Yeah.
He got his offer. I called him and said, I'll go if you go. He said, I'll go if you go.
Has y'all relationship?
We were brothers.
At that point, yeah.
We were brothers.
Yeah.
And he was like, yep. You think it's a good move? I said, I think it's a great move.
Yeah.
And he was doing mornings. I was doing production. And I was completely fine with that.
Yeah. Did you ever get on the air at Smooth Jazz?
I did.
Yeah.
At some point. I didn't like it at all. and I'm a mellow kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I could have, had I really wanted to do it, I could have worked my way in there. I mean, we worked with some great people: Donna Franklin, Donna McKenzie, Greg Morgan, Larry Jones. Yeah. Then Larry went to work with another, Yolanda. He got syndicated.
So before we get there, at this point, station breaks up. You go over to Smooth Jazz. Uncle Funky goes to Smooth Jazz. From the chair that I sit in, I go from promotions at Power to promotions to board opping, right? At 104 KRBE, which is a pop CHR station. Yeah. And so I got my chops from being in the back room with you guys, right? So they let me on the board and eventually gave me a overnight position, right?
So if you just be in the building.
Yeah, so that's where you started, board to overnights.
Absolutely.
And this is where I am, board to overnights. And then that graduated for me, like you bounced around, to Univision's Party 104.9 calling me. And now I am moving up, and I go from overnights to weekends to nights, right? And this whole time, like we still knew each other and stayed in touch, but we wasn't close like that, right? I just knew that Fisher, Anthony Valeries, these the guys who gave me my start, and I still looked at y'all like giants. Praise 92.1 launches. Uncle Funky goes there. You don't go over there. You stay on at Smooth Jazz. Anthony Valerie goes there. Some of us from Power goes over there. I'm fish grease hot, pun intended, right? Nights, I'm making great money. The endorsements and the deals that you were talking about.
Party 104.9.
Yeah, I'm the guy now, right? And at the time, there is no love there like it was at Power. It wasn't family. Right. I run into Anthony Valerie at a remote. He tells me about Praise. I ended up over at Praise. So I walk away from a night job. I go for promotions again to board opping again for Yolanda. Now, Anthony's working with Yolanda Adams. Uncle Funky's working there. You're still at Smooth Jazz.
Yeah. But you guys are just on the 8th floor.
Right.
I'm on the 19th floor, so we're still here. We're still family.
Fast forward, I remember seeing you in the parking lot. I don't know if you remember this, Fish, and you telling me I'm done with radio. And I was like, wait, what? And you was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I don't think you remember this. We talked in the parking lot over at the building across from Mercedes-Benz. And you was telling me you either retiring or resigning. You're about to leave. I'm trying to get the year. I want to say 07.
No, if it was that, it was 08.
08, 07, yes.
Scenario.
Yes. Yeah. You resigned.
So it's 2008, and I'm feeling some sort of way. Of course, another transition has happened. They flipped the format again from Smooth Jazz to
Mix.
No. Hot 95.7.
That's what it was. Yes.
So and I didn't see that coming. It was literally a bum rush. Hey, what are you doing? I need you to stay here. We got to do something. I was like, well, what's going on? I can't talk to you right now. We got to put all this music in here. And so I finally say, hey, you keeping me from my family. What's going on? We're flipping formats. Tomorrow.
1, 2, 3 stations in amount of 4 years.
No. I mean, it was.
It's Power, Smooth Jazz.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. You're right.
Time goes by.
Golly.
Yeah. So
now that you put it that way.
So now you're at the point where.
But guess what?
Go for it.
I'm production director. They don't blow me out. They blow everybody else out. I'm there for the transition. And it wasn't until maybe a few weeks into it that I'm talking to director of programming, Jeff Harrison, and he's like, I didn't know if you could cut it. I was like, dude, I got my chops in CHR radio. I started.
This is Jeff Harrison that was at Magic?
Jeff Garrison, I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's like, I just didn't think you could cut it. I was like, well, I can.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
and he actually helped me with my golf game. Thank you, Jeff. I need to play some more. But we made that transition, and here I am, production director.
Yeah.
They bring a new guy in, and we had an understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I was aware that I wasn't his guy, and I'm sure
As far as production,
yeah, and I'm sure he would have rather had a younger
one of his guys.
Yeah. So we just didn't really talk much. We just worked.
Okay.
And that was an unsaid understanding.
Yeah.
You can't fire me because I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna quit because I'm not a dummy. So we'll
cut the check.
But we had an affinity for movies.
Okay.
And we could talk. He'd come in the studio.
Yeah.
And we'd talk about movies.
I didn't know you loved movies like that.
Days.
Yeah.
And then we just go away.
Greatest movie of all time. Go.
Roxanne.
Malcolm X, but never mind.
Roxanne, Steve Martin.
Okay. Continue.
I'm that guy.
Okay.
So I decide that I'm going to retire. I'm going to quit. I don't know what I'm going to. Actually, I kind of knew what I was going to do because I had started doing voiceovers on the side.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I've got enough clientele where we're not going to hurt. So
clients from where?
Churches. I did a lot of. I still do church announcements.
Yeah.
It's not your mom and daddy's announcements anymore. It's a whole video production now.
Yeah.
And so that was my first client was Higher Dimension Church.
Tell me about your fear, because bro, when I remember,
I'm gonna get to that.
Do you remember talking to me in the parking lot?
I don't remember talking to you in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But I remember being fed up.
Okay.
They just don't see me.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, and she doesn't remember, but I know I told her.
That you were sick of this.
That I was sick of it.
Yeah.
So I'm literally going into, this is August.
You had to be mad, bro. You talked to me in the parking lot.
It was rough. I was done.
Yeah. You had to be.
I was done.
Okay.
So I'm driving into work to turn in my resignation.
Yeah.
And I am 3 minutes from the job. Phone rings.
Okay.
It's my wife.
Okay.
Babe, are you sure? What do you mean am I sure? We never really talked about it. Yes, we did. So now my mojo's gone. All my confidence, because I was going to lay it. You don't respect me. I'm leaving, taking my ball and going home. So I calmed down and said, okay, I'll give it a year. And I did.
What?
I gave it a year. So by November 2009, I was ready. I'd actually made a plan. So you know how when people get fired,
yeah,
they usually see them with cardboard boxes with their stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be that guy.
Okay.
I had a little suitcase that I kept in my studio under the console.
For these moments.
For that moment.
You know what I do?
Because if you were going to fire me,
yeah,
nobody was going to know. They might have known, but they weren't going to know.
Let me tell you how us youngsters do
myself out of this. I'm going to roll myself out of this building and be cool. And I had every little. I think I'm going to need this. Put it in the bag. Yeah, they don't need this.
Can I tell you how my office at my station looks right now? There's nothing in my office, right?
Just in case.
I don't bring pictures. And it's not the fear. I just know radio, right? And I try to tell people radio. I don't live in fear, but radio is like sports, right? They can flip a format. I can
at any time.
Yeah.
I used to have to have like military clauses in my apartment complexes.
Because this could be it.
I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to be here.
I tell people all the time, I know you're a movie buff, but remember the show Martin?
Yeah.
You remember when he got canned off of radio? As funny as that is, it's real. That was real. And so
Absolutely.
to this day, I don't move into my offices at all. So I'm gonna invite you to my office one day. And I don't move into, and then I carry a backpack with me all the time. So that would be your suitcase.
Yeah. So I had that there, and that gave me a sense of peace because now I've got something to move forward to. I've got something to look forward to, and I know that you're not going to really get on my nerves as much as you think you are.
Yeah.
And because I know I got something else coming.
Yeah. So you started building those clients over the next year?
Over the next year.
Were you good enough over the next year? What was the moment where you said, here's my out?
So I won a trip to Vegas.
Okay.
And they were like, and it was kind of a station where they got to give it away.
Okay.
I gave it to me.
Okay.
But it was I had to take it before the end of the year. So I decided I'd go on my birthday, October.
Okay.
Take my wife to Vegas. We have a blast. Libations happen. And we're feeling good. And I say, all right, so when we get back, that's it.
That's how you made your decision.
She was like, huh? So when we get back, that's it. We've got enough money.
Mark, you don't sound like you have no fear, though, bro. There had to be a fear. You've been in radio how many years at this point?
At this time, I was really, really flourishing in my walk with God.
We was worshiping together.
Yeah.
I've been beside you at some churches, yeah.
So that one time when we watched Anthony Valerie, and I'm crying and you crying, I'm like, this is crazy good.
Yeah.
But my faith was strong.
Okay.
And I'm like, he'll make a way. He always has.
Yeah.
As long as I'm moving forward into something.
Yeah.
Cast your net out. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be embarrassed.
Was it some dark times?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Was it some times where wifey didn't trust you anymore?
I'm sure there were.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I want to say this. I'm going to look at you and say, babe, I love you. Thank you for not wavering. But I mean, she's the rock of the family. She always.
And I know her too. Yeah, she's definitely a G.
She's that one.
Yeah.
The movie with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
When he says, "You want me on that wall. You need me on." That's her.
Yeah.
As rough as she can be, I want that. I could not do what I do without that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that guy. You know
at this point, you started, was it Fishmar at that time or no?
I created Fishmar Creative in, around 2009. I began kind of really honing that and making it a company and getting a DBA.
Who taught you that?
Chili Bill Smith, Funky Larry Jones. Hey, get you a DBA.
Yeah.
Doing business as.
So they gave you the entrepreneur wisdom on it, or is still trial and error?
It's still trial and error.
Yeah.
I just knew that I could, all of this money that I was making for the radio station, I saw millions pass through, and I was like, well, if I can get an inkling of that, I'll be set.
Gosh, listen, for people watching this that know my story, I'm saying, Fish, there's no wonder my story is the way it is.
Super similar. And I'm so proud of you, man, because
Bro.
one thing about you that I've always admired is that everything that you told me you were going to do or that you wanted to do, you've done. I remember when you said I'm at the TV station. I'm gonna be a reporter. I was like, what?
I did that thing.
Where'd that come from? And sure enough, I'm watching TV and you're at the games and you're reporting. You cut your hair.
Yeah, I did
you
that
shaved. I'm like, this dude.
Hey, man, these interviews are hard, bro, because I'm hearing your journey and I'm watching I'm living mine, but I'm seeing how God puts people in your place.
Yeah.
You just said you and Uncle Funky are brothers. Y'all started this competition.
To this day, he bought me a Christmas gift.
Mm-hmm.
These Sony headphones. I'm not.
I
don't get paid. If I don't get paid for this, I don't get paid for this. But I've owned 3 pair in my 30+ years.
Yeah.
The last pair he bought me, and that was in 2004, and that was a Christmas gift. And he said, soon it'll be your turn to do this for somebody else.
Can I jump in?
Go for it.
My first pair of Sony headphones came from you. That was 2003, 4 maybe. No, I'm sorry. I was at party when you bumped. Yes, I'm sorry. 2007 or 8. But I wish I had them for this. You just bought me some new ear covers because they were so chewed up. And so, bro, you've been, Fisher, bro.
That's what it's all about, though. That's how you continue the legacy.
Yeah.
The legacy of what we do.
Yeah.
If you show them the right way,
yeah,
then they'll show the next person the right way. And you won't have the wild, wild west of
what
we got. And I don't want to be the bitter guy. I want to be the better guy.
Exactly. I want to say this too, because this has been a radio journey, but the brotherhood, dude, you walk my first wife. I hate to say my first wife, right? You walk my ex-wife down at the wedding.
Yeah.
The first time I held a baby was Leah.
Wow.
And so, like, man, when I say big brother, when I say mentor, when I say respect, it goes so far with me, bro. Like I'm sitting here, I'm ready to hear this interview because I had never cried in the interview. But bro, when I hear some of this stuff, man, I just got some of the best people around me, man, and I truly thank you, just for real, like for real.
Well, you know.
So, what's next for Mark Fisher? What are you doing now? How can people reach you?
I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I'll be very honest with you.
Yeah?
I'm still trying to figure it out. And that's another thing that I look at you and I marvel because I look at where I am. I look at where I'm sitting. And this was a vision that was birthed. I remember when you posted, what should I call this?
It's facts.
And people were chiming in, beats of the blessed, and God's love mixes, and
man,
and look at you.
Yeah.
So you know that if you are a testament that if you continue to do the work, and if you walk with God's confidence, and you know who you are and whose you are, everything you want you can get.
So good.
But you got to do work.
Yeah.
And I'm no perfect dude, and when I say this, I'm talking to myself because I know there's so much more that I can be doing.
Yeah.
So this is a lot of self-talk.
Are you still have your zeal for this thing?
Radio did what it was supposed to do for me.
Yeah.
And it transitioned me into voiceovers. And you still hear my voice all over the country.
All over.
Radio stations, churches, businesses.
Yeah.
That's the word of voiceover.
Yeah.
I want to do promo. Promo is the things that you hear on TV. Tonight on Fox. So I've got a lot of guys around me who do that.
Yeah.
And they're waiting on me.
Is that a fraternity? Kind of like is that a
it's
like official referees in the NBA? That's a fraternity.
It is, especially when you get into the different genres. Like movie trailers, there's probably 7 guys.
Wow.
That are the guy. You know, now with the apps and the Hulus and Netflix and all and these things now more people are able to get into it. But there was a time where all of the promo trailers, all of the movie trailers that you heard were maximum 5 guys.
Fast forward before I let you out of here. You said it a few minutes ago, man, I don't want to be the bitter guy. And I'm at that point in my career, too. We see podcasts. We see all of this other things where people can literally grab a phone and become the guy.
Yeah.
How have you incorporated, transitioned? Are you stay back? How are you with this new era of technology boom and your place in the market? Because I look at myself and I go, I can't believe I ain't the podcasting GOAT out here. I've been in radio 20 years, right? And there's people who started podcasts during the pandemic with 7-figure salaries.
Yeah.
Right? So how have you transitioned with that?
I haven't. I've watched. I've watched and I've applauded because anybody can you get a camera, you can do something.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty, but that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. But so many people do it the wrong way. And so many people, I could easily say back in my day, but you know what? So did my dad.
Yeah.
I remember when you push a button to start a car. What?
Yes.
Why would you do that, man? I got this key right here.
Yes. Yeah.
You got to evolve. You got to evolve, or you'll be watching.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Did the same thing with my other mentor.
Uh-oh.
We're in my Grand Imaging Podcast studios. I have the National Blessed Beats Show,
Boom.
which you are the voice of it.
Yeah.
You are the voice of the Blessed Beats Show.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. If Mark Fisher could start a podcast in the next 45 days, what would your podcast be about? You are the expert of
giving love to people, sharing love, being positive in negative situations.
I'm challenging you. That's why I wanted to interview my mentors.
Yeah.
I built these great studios. Your podcast is on me. I'm challenging you to bless these cameras and these mics with a podcast of your own. I'm going to teach you how to monetize it, how to sponsorship it, the whole nine. This is my series of interviewing mentors and my give back. We just talked about the headphones you gave me.
That's what it's all about, man. That's crazy.
So it's on you to come get your podcast. Is that a deal?
That's more than a deal. That's crazy. That's why I love you, man.
Yeah, I love you from the bottom of my heart, man. Tell the people how they reach you, bro.
Instagram, MarcFisher VO.
Fishmark Creative or bookings?
Mark Fisher VO. Do that through Instagram. I'll reach you. I'm working on my website. It's still Fishmark Creative, but I got some stuff to do. Mark Fisher Facebook, Mark Fisher VO Twitter, X. SpaceX. What's that called? What's it called?
It's called X. But I want to say this: are you dancing on Snapchat or TikTok?
You know what? I stopped with Snapchat. It was just way too much.
Way too much.
So I know they got Twitch and Kicker and all this.
Some stuff we just y'all got. I literally said some of this stuff. Y'all got it. Yeah, that's what I said.
And I actually said IG, and they were like, nobody says that. What do you mean? I thought it was IG.
What do they say?
They say the gram. I'm like,
they
what?
do say the gram. Hit me on the gram. You're right.
I'm old, man.
All right. We've grown gray beards together, bro.
You didn't have gray when I met you.
I love it. Mark Fisher right here inside the BlessedBeatzLive podcast. More of your favorites along the way. Don't move.